Welcome back to Houston Life. Our next guest has written songs for some of the biggest names in the industry. Think Chris Brown, Jennifer Hudson, Jordan Sparks. She's also written across the globe in Korea, where she earned 2 K-pop #1s on her first trip, Derek.
And now she is stepping into the spotlight with a sound that is all her own, blending gospel roots, country soul, and pop. She is getting ready to debut her album this fall. The album that brought her to Houston 2 years ago. Joining us now with more on her journey from Seoul, that is Seoul, South Korea, to the South, Houston. Chikk, welcome to Houston Life.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Talk about an unusual or unexpected path to where you are today. You grew up in Southern California, and music was always your passion.
Always.
So what was your first paycheck making music?
I love that
Because it's one thing to be creative, it's another thing to make
Totally.
money doing what you love.
No, it's so true. I was 4 years old in front of my mom's hair salon singing Yankee Doodle for anyone who would stop and listen. Like, would you like a show?
Cute.
I got you.
Yes.
But my first paycheck did not come at 4 years old. It was definitely a very long road. I'd say like the first one, maybe 23 years old, 24 years old.
Well, you've always loved music. Like you
Yep.
said, you sang as a child. For anyone who would listen, at 11, you wrote a country song inspired by Leanne Rimes. At 15, you were professionally taking meetings. And then at 18, you got a first offer from Chris Brown, a deal offer. But, you know, that opened doors for you. In between all of this timeline, you actually experienced some tragedy. And I want you to tell that story because I think people say, well, like, easy for her to say. She has this beautiful voice. She has this gift. Can you tell us about that accident?
Absolutely. The accident was during that time of growing up, 15 being just starting to professionally record, 18, Chris Brown offered me a deal, and by 24, I signed my publishing deal. My car accident wasn't until 2017, but during that time of growing in the music industry, I had to still deliver groceries. I still had to work very, very hard.
Had to pay
even
rent.
though
Yeah.
I had to pay rent. I had a beautiful mother who made sure that I was rooted in God, and my faith just would not let up. So it didn't matter what I had to do. I knew I was born to sing. I was still going to school. I was still doing what I needed to do, but I knew that this was my destiny. And so at 24, 2013, when I really started diving in, I went over to South Korea. And that's when all the magic started. And I left that trip with 2 #1s. But in 2017, 4 years later, at that point, I probably had about 12 #1 records that had hit billboards. We had broke records, selling over 1 million albums in one day. I mean, it was so much success.
Incredible.
Very, very quickly. And in 2017, my car went underneath a semi-truck one night on my way home. And my car crushed in on me. So both of my feet completely snapped off of my body. I had Converse on, and they just went to an L. They were completely off. My right leg completely broke right down the middle. So my hip was here, the leg was over here, and the steering wheel chopped my arm straight in half. So it was just a V hanging. This is 4 metal rods. This is 1 metal rod. And they put my feet back together with screws and nails. And the doctors are like, we don't think you'll walk again. If you walk, you'll have a permanent limp. Like they said, it looked like you hit a wall going 80 miles per hour. That's how broken my body was.
Oh my gosh.
Limbs just hanging off. But you know that mother I told you about that loves God? She prayed every day while I was in the hospital. And my faith, the same faith that delivered groceries while waiting for that #1 record, was the same faith that I'm gonna walk again. And I did. And to this day, doctors look at me like it's not possible, but it is. And so the music I make now, and it's not exactly the same music as before, it's just rooted in I'm so loved and I'm here for a reason. And hopefully I fulfill everything I need to before my life is over.
And when you've been through a tragedy, I mean, a trauma, an experience like that, I can't even imagine. Suddenly you're seeing traction in your professional career, you're getting all these #1 hits, and then this horrible thing happens to you. I can't even imagine the convergence of emotions there. Let's talk about, I'm sure that's shaped your perspective of the world today, but this whole vibe that you have, country, gospel, K-pop, that is not something that people are doing. Is that the reason why you think you've had so much of a response?
I think so. When we did the House of Blues in Houston just this Friday night, me and the band, we said we're going to do some of our originals. We opened up for Linnell Grant, but we just were like,
Linnell
we
Grant.
love Linnell Grant. We had a time. It was absolutely amazing. She has a new album out, and I'm actually on 7 of the songs on her album.
No, she is such a cool lady.
She's incredible, incredible. And at that show, we tried some new songs. The crowd's response let us know everything we needed to know. We left that performance like, okay, Houston's ready, the world is ready. The sound, it's innovative, it's new. K-pop, that's what I've written for 12 years, right? I was an architect of this genre that is now blowing up, which is so beautiful. Gospel, where I came from, the church, that's my roots, that's my heart. And then country. At 11 years old, I only sang. But at 11 years old, I went to my vocal lesson a little earlier to see my vocal coach, and he was listening to Leanne Rimes' How Do I Live? Now, in my home, we listened to Earth, Wind, and Fire, Kirk Franklin. I had never heard country before.
Who is this?
I was like, what is this? So I had a guitar, and I actually picked the guitar up to learn how to emulate what I heard at my vocal lesson, which was country. And that's how I started songwriting.
That is amazing.
Yep.
And your range is incredible.
Thank
You've
you.
done all of this writing. How does it feel to know that you are the mind behind all of these K-pop groups that are, world phenomenons? What's that like?
It's amazing. It's amazing. And I think the most amazing part is because I was at the beginning of it, I was truly just doing what I was born to do. It's different to come in on a trend later, because then you pick up what the trend has been. But because I was at the beginning, I was myself. And that lets me know that you don't have to be anyone else. You can honestly be yourself, and the world will make way for you. And so I teach a lot of young girls coming up in the music industry, you don't have to change. Just be you, I promise. It works out.
Stay true. Yeah.
Great
Works
advice.
out.
We're tight on time, but you've been living in Houston officially now for just more than 2 years, just over 2 years.
Aged out.
Does it feel like home yet?
It does, absolutely. Absolutely, it feels like home. I love this city. I love it.
We're glad you're here.
Thank
and
you.
Chikk, I wish we had more time because I feel like we barely scratched.
When's the book
surface.
coming out? Jeez.
Yeah, the book, more albums. By the way, if you want to keep an ear out for her new music coming this fall, or if you'd like to connect with Chikk, we have provided a link. Her info is on our website. Look for that Scene on Houston Life section. And you are going places. You've already been places. And we're going to keep a close eye on you.
Okay. And she was asking, when can she claim Houston and be a Houstonian?
Yes.
It's now. It's now.
Perfect.